Today I'm doing something that no LEGO fan ever wants to do, and trust me you guys, it is very, very painful, but I'm going to be holding myself accountable, and I'm going to sort my LEGO bricks. Last year you guys would have seen me do a massive sort of my LEGO collection, which just completely saw an overhaul of all of these bins here, added these ones to the side, and just really changed the dynamics of my LEGO collection. And since then, I've done a much better job at keeping my LEGO parts sorted, until now at least. So see, a few months ago, I actually got all of these Pick-A-Brick cups filled with different LEGO parts. I got these, made a couple videos on them, you guys would have seen them on my channel, but they've actually just been sitting here on the floor for the last month and a half, 2 months, and I haven't done anything with them. I've also been very fortunate enough these last few weeks to be getting a bunch of used LEGO. I got this from Value Village and I made a video on it. I got this at my most recent lug meeting, as well as I got this bin of LEGO for only $20. It contains a bunch of LEGO parts and all this LEGO from my grandparents here. So while it's great that I've got all this LEGO and I've just kind of hid it in my Bricklink room for now, of course it does need to be sorted here into the rest of the LEGO collection. So the easiest thing that I could start with for this sorting process is all the Pick-A-Brick cups that I got last month, because they're already sorted for me. A lot of these parts here are very, very similar, so I will just be able to put them here in the LEGO room and in the drawers and stuff like that they belong. Some of them might require a bit of moving around. For example, I picked up a lot of these panels here, which I know aren't going to fit in my drawers, because the drawer here is already pretty full of the exact same piece, but I'm going to try and fit as many in as possible just so I can empty the cups. And then like all the other rest of the parts that I have too many of, I'll just set down here and stack them away. Parts like this, for example, will be very, very easy because I have so many of them. They're already pre-sorted. And into the bin of white bricks they go. So I got started here just by working my way through all the different Pick-A-Brick cups. The first thing I did was try and tackle the 1x4 masonry bricks in lavender. I knew they would go in the profile bricks bin, so I just grabbed a Ziploc bag and dumped them all in there. And then I went to town putting the rest of the parts in. It actually surprised me how easy some of these parts were able to fit in their bins. I thought I would definitely have a little bit harder of a time because they are in such high quantities, but that really wasn't the case. I did decide to save some of the parts out, like the blue 1x1 tiles, just because I already had so many of them in my drawers. I'm going to list some of them in my Bricklink store, just because I don't think there'll be a situation where I'll ever need so many. I was pleasantly surprised that all of the 1x6 panels also fit in their drawers. I thought I would have to have a bin of them off to the side, but that was definitely not the case. Other parts like the different fences and the window panels and pieces were a little bit harder to fit in because those drawers are pretty much getting maxed out, but I managed to squeeze them all in, and hopefully I'll build with these parts soon so I won't have to worry about them running out of space. Overall, this process took me way shorter of a time than I thought it might. I don't know why I've been putting it away for weeks so long. I also forgot to mention here as well that the green bin is getting pretty full as well, so it's fine for now, but if I do get many more green bricks in the future, I will definitely have to do something about it because it barely shuts and it is very, very heavy. Like I mentioned, the panels barely fit as well, but once again, I want to use those bricks in the future. Here is the bag of the profile bricks that I already talked about here. This will go in the profile bricks drawer, which is right up here with all of the others, all nicely sorted there. And then I did fill up this bag of flame pieces that I had in this bin already. This is now filled to the max, so all the rest of these parts are going to go in my Bricklink store along with the rest of the tiles here, which is fine because I already have so many of them in my collection I don't really need it. And the only part that just didn't fit in the existing storage containers and had to be put in this Pick-A-Brick cup are these flower pieces here. I only actually got the one color of the flower from this Pick-A-Brick haul, but because I had so many blue ones in here already, I took about half of them out and added a bunch of the purple ones in there, so I have a little bit of a variety, and of course the cup will just contain all the extras. Also, how could I forget one of the biggest parts of this video that I'll need to sort in addition to all the Pick-A-Brick cups and the used LEGO that I purchased recently? It is this bin down here called Sort Me. This is all the miscellaneous bricks that I've dealt with over the last few months that I just have not sorted yet. That's actually part of the inspiration for making this video because this drawer was already getting pretty full, so it's time to sort all these pieces soon. That being said, because I've already got these pieces on my table here, I think I'm going to start with them first. So first I got started by sorting all the pieces that I got from the Value Village thrift haul just a few weeks ago. I paid under $5 for this bag of LEGO. It took me several minutes to sort it out, and I really underestimated how many good pieces were inside. There were a lot of plates, a lot of bricks modified, a couple bricks here and there, but lots of tiles and slope pieces and some minifigure parts as well. So for less than $5, this was definitely a really, really good deal of LEGO. Couldn't be happier with this. And then next up, I started sorting some of the LEGO that came in the blue bin that my dad got me. I accidentally dumped a bunch of this on the ground, but then I went straight to work. You guys would have seen in that video, this just contained a lot of basic bricks, a lot of reddish brown, lots of grays, lots of blacks. Like I don't really know any of the sets that came in here. It's pretty hard to pinpoint it exactly, but lots of newer parts, which is really good. Sometimes when you're sorting old lots of Lego, which I'm going to be sorting a little bit later in this video, some of the parts aren't really relevant anymore, so you don't really know what you'll use them for. You don't really know where they'll go in your storage because you don't have a lot of them because it's an old Lego part. But this was definitely not the case. These were all pretty new and modern bricks and will definitely be very useful for Lego building in the future and shouldn't be too hard to place in my Lego bins. All right, now that the blue bin is fully emptied here, all the parts are put away. You guys can just pretty much see everything is all spread out quite nicely there, which is pretty awesome. So some of the cups, like the plate one in particular, got a little full, so I had to get another box for it. But it's okay because the sort is going well. And now that the blue bin is done, it's time to sort this bag here of Lego parts. This is the bag that I actually got at my most recent Lego users group meeting. I bought this bag for only $10 a pound. It was just a little over 2 pounds, so the whole bag was about $20. I myself got to pick all the parts that went in there, so I'm pretty familiar. There weren't any minifigure parts or things like that, but I was able to get a lot of good ones that I'll use for building. A majority of the parts in here are just some pretty basic ones. I got a lot of panels, a lot of basic bricks, a lot of plates, just a lot of great stuff. Like, it's harder to get. You wouldn't want to put these in a pick brick cup because they may take a lot of space. I also got a few really cool older pieces, like a lot of these leaf pieces, like little palm tree leaves. I got some old scooters, some staircases, some printed pieces as well. Inside, all the bulk were sometimes just like random broken up parts of sets. So I just got different things like half a smart car and it's just like some parts from buildings. Pretty much just a smorgasbord of parts and stuff like that. Like nothing too crazy, nothing too consistent, but it's always fun when you get to go through and sort your own Lego pieces because you're actually getting some of the parts you want. So unlike, you know, the bin I just finished sorting where there was a lot of wedge plates, this time there's a lot of panels, which is good because this is what I use more for building. But it was fun, just even though I only packed this a few weeks ago, I kind of forgot all the different pieces that I actually put in this bag. So it was really fun to go through today and just sort of see what was inside. All right, now that the bag of Lego is finished sorted and being empty, it is of course time to tackle this drawer right here, which is all the Lego parts that I've not yet sorted that I need to do so. This is just a whole conglomeration. This is again just a whole smorgasbord of different pieces from over the last few months, and it is time to get sorting these as well. Because this bin here is just all the Lego parts that I've accumulated basically since I did my last sort last year, this is a huge variety of things. It's going to be a ton of small pieces because these are the extra pieces. Anytime I build a Lego set and those extra pieces, I just dump them in this bin. It's also just a combination of some leftover mocks or some sets that I've torn down and thrown in here as well. So it's pretty hard to predict exactly what I'll find in here. There's also some pieces where I just didn't know where to put them when I did the last sort, so I threw them in here and figured it would be a future me problem. But future me has come, so now I'll be trying to figure out where those pieces go in this sort as well. So nothing too crazy here. It's just a bunch of standard pieces that I'm going to continue sorting through. And it'll be good to get this bin emptied out. This will be a bin that's always going to be filled of Lego pieces that need to be sorted. Because that's the purpose of this bin. Like, I'm not always going to sort every single piece as I go and as I build. So I want that bin to be just kind of a catch-all. And then every few months, once it starts to get a little bit full, just like I've done right now, I will break out the cups and do another Lego sort. Alright, so the bin of Lego here has been officially sorted. I'm very, very excited about that. It has been a really, really long time since I've seen everything sorted here, so you guys can see all of the parts are right here. And of course, now the next steps are to put everything away here in the Pappy Max drawers. I was doing a little configuring though, and I think there will be a few changes. I'm almost kind of thinking that I need to do some expansion to the Lego part storage as well. Like, all of these are full. You guys would have known that from the last vlog, and I've been really expanding a lot of the pieces into here as well. Right down here, I just have some random Lego storage, and it's covered up by this fabric here in my Lego City. I'm thinking it might be cool if I get a few more bins like this that I have all stacked here and put them all the way along the Lego City here, just because that would allow me to put some additional parts, and it would look for a really great backdrop. I'm thinking like some of these drawers here are pretty full. Like the green is so full, the blue is pretty full as well. So if I moved all the brick bins, you know, that I have right here, I have them in 3 colors, put them over there, I would have these drawers now open up to use other Lego parts for sorting and stuff like that. So like, I'm thinking these panel pieces, these are always really full drawers. You guys can see lots to go in there. This drawer is also really, really full. So for example, these bins I don't really use a lot. These are just like curved bricks and things like that I just got here. I feel like they could easily be put into this bin right here because I use window shields and windscreens and stuff like that even less. So I could probably put them in this drawer right up here because I've actually just emptied that drawer and put all the base plates right down there because it was easy to consolidate them, or they can even go with the vehicle parts. I also found this bin here of Lego. This is all actually similar pieces. This is all parts, as you guys can guess it, from the Lego road plates. So I just got a bunch of sets open up in here. So there's just a lot of plates, a lot of these things. Might even list some of these in the Bricklink store because I just don't need this many of them. So I'm going to sort that out as well just to get all those parts done. And then I'm going to do some reconfiguring of all these shelves here, and I'll let you know exactly what I come up with. Alright, so now I've also finished sorting out all the parts from the road plate sets. You guys can see I've got a big stack of the 4x4 plates there, a ton of the rods, a ton of the 4x8 plates, and then just a few of the printed tiles. All the rest of the pieces I just put in their respective bins here, except for the solar panels as well, and the glow-in-the-dark parts, because I want to keep them separate. So now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put a bunch of these just in a bin and take them to the Bricklink store. And then it's time to do the sort and consolidation of the bins here. Alright, so the first thing I did here was grab all the windshields and just kind of dump them into another bin because I'll come back and find a place for them later. I then used the empty bin to put all of the curved bricks in, which now they'll be part of the bricks tower, which is really exciting. And then I basically just went through all the different Pappy Max containers and tried to do as much consolidation and moving around as possible. I know I just did this last year, but when you add new pieces to your Lego collection, it changes it up a little because you might not have had a lot before, so now you have to do some reconfiguring to add a lot more. Some pieces I had in kind of like high retail spots where they're really easy to access, but I don't even use those pieces a lot, so it doesn't make sense to leave the pieces there and instead move those where I don't access them as much and put some more frequently used pieces there instead. So just lots of reconfiguring and moving around to see kind of where everything would best be suited. This is going to be a continuous work in progress. This is never actually done, but as I said, as I expand my Lego collection, as I get more Lego parts, this kind of maintenance is absolutely necessary to do. Alright, so now I've got all of my curved bricks right here. I've got this empty drawer here, which is going to be perfect for all the trees and the shrubs. I've still got the one remaining empty drawer up here, and now I have two remaining empty ones right here, because I have now added all of the panels right here, as well as the smaller panels right underneath it, because both of those bins were too full. And with the addition with all the parts from here, I knew it was just never going to work. I still have the empty bins here, which is going to go great. I'm not sure which is going to go on any of the three of them, probably the windshields and maybe some other things as well. But I've got a few more areas right here for the bricks. I think I'm going to move the to be sorted bin to be in one of these bins up here, just because sometimes when the table's in the way, I'm not actually able to get to that bin. But if I had them in just a box on top, it would just make things a lot easier for me. But I'm happy with how things are looking now. I'm also going to need another bin up here, I believe, like another box, just because I think this is a little too full to be sorting through parts and stuff like that when I'm doing the build. But it's not terrible, but it's also not great. And then I'll have to do some labeling, rearranging as well. But in the meantime, I want to start putting all of these pieces away. So spoiler alert, I'm not actually going to get through all of this today just because there are so many pieces left to sort, but basically what I'm doing now is I'm just grabbing a cup at a time and I'm going through and I'm putting them all in the Pappy Max containers. I try and do some of the large pieces first, like the plates and the bricks, because they're so much easier to do. So especially these ones, because they're just sorted by color, what I'll just do is go through and put them in their proper bins, and then once I finish the bin, I move on to another one. Some of them require a lot more sub-sorting than others, sometimes modified bricks, for example, they have to go in their individual compartments as well, so they take a little bit more time. But other times, like panels and stuff like that, once they're in the cup, I just have to dump them in the bin where they belong. So I pretty much for the next little bit go through and just do this. I'm able to get through about half the cups before I have to move on and work on other projects, because especially like I said, some of the Pappy Max are still, as I add more parts to them, I realize they're a little bit too full, or I'll just need to do a little bit more storage and configuration a little bit later. And I think I'm at the point right now where I really do need to work on expanding my Lego storage. Like, I've purchased so many new parts recently, it just does not fit in the Pappy Max or in my existing storage solutions, no matter how I configure them. So I'm gonna have to look into investing in some more infrastructure and things like that, like some more bins, some more storage itself, because yeah, my Lego collection is just growing, which is not actually a very bad problem. But I'm also expecting a very big shipment of Lego parts to be added to my collection soon, which will also just throw that completely out of the water. So I will definitely be making a part 2 of the Lego sort in the next couple months for sure. So I was able to get through probably about half of the pick-a-brick cups that I I sorted in this video, which is good because these ones still just need to be added to the PappyMac, so at least they're sorted. They just need a little bit more sub-sorting than I'm able to do right now, but I've got some other priorities that I need to work on, so that's why I need my table back, and I'm going to put these in the corner until I'm able to come to it. I've also been doing a lot of building recently because I was working on my mock for Brickworld, and these are all the extra pieces that I ordered from the Bricklink order, so they're just here underneath the Coliseum table as well to get them out of the way. And there's even another PappyMac drawer down here that is just got a little bit messed up. I don't know how this happened or how the divider fell out, but it's a little bit messed up right now, so I have to resort this bin as well. There's just going to be a gap here in the PappyMacs, but the rest of the pieces are at least away. So like I said, I'm going to have to do a part number 2 on this video sometime soon because I am expecting a very large shipment of Lego parts, and I still have all those Pick-a-Brick cups that need to be sorted into the PappyMacs, but I'm at a standstill right now. I have other projects I want to work on. There's still lots of Lego parts to sort, and I do need to invest more in the infrastructure of my storage. I am at a space. No matter how I reconfigure everything, I'm not able to fit in all of these parts anymore into the current space that I have. So I'm going to have to do some investigating in the future, and that will come, and I'll bring you guys along for the process. It's just not something I'm going to do right now. So that is where I'm at for this part of the sort. I'm going to put everything underneath the table there, and I'm going to come back to it in a few weeks or maybe a month or two or something like that when I have a little bit more time. But this is going to happen. Do not worry. I've got lots of big things coming, and I want to do more mock building this year. So that's why it's really important for me to get my Lego collection storage under control. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you all here in the next one.